So welcome to Releasing Weight so it never comes back. Metabolic flexibility, ageless energy, and much more. My name is Agnes. So how many of you have lost weight or gained it back? You can put in the chat or turn your video on. I haven't muted anyone.
Mhm.
How many of you are concerned about creeping pounds or less energy?
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
How many have a health challenge? So as a nurse practitioner, I've had people, they either take or need a medication and they consider themselves healthy. But I think needing a prescription medication means that you really have some kind of health challenge. And really, it's about an awareness that these medications often mask symptoms. They never cause the condition to go away. But anyhow, I would like each of you to share something about yourself or what inspired you to come to this master class and what you want to learn more about. So Karen, you can be first. You're on my screen first.
Don't mind me. So, excuse me. Weight has been a lifelong challenge. Of course, you know how that goes. It's you look back at pictures from years like, oh gosh, why was I so worried about it then? But it's kind of been a lifelong thing. And so as somebody that's in the health arena as a health professional, you sort of want to practice what you preach and really try to be your best. And weight is just one of those things that is a challenge.
Okay, you want to tell us a couple things about yourself?
I have been a massage therapist for over 20 years, and my business has also created resources. So people, when you're not on the massage table, I have resources that can help you to relax your body, mind, and spirit. And challenged right now because right now I have a broken wrist and shoulder surgery coming up. So I won't be working as a massage therapist for the next probably at least couple months. So definitely challenges.
Oh, wow. Thank you for sharing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Jenna. You're next.
Hi, I'm Jana, and I feel like this is a really good fit. I'm older, and I do exercise and try to maintain my weight and eating healthy, but my metabolism slowed down, so I feel like getting any input that I can would be a benefit. I work as an insurance agent, and I'm looking to do other things as well to grow my experience as well as learn about other products and services.
Wow, that's awesome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And next we have Elspeth. Is that how you say it?
Yes. Hi, I'm Elspeth. I can't video because I'm multitasking at the moment, but I basically have an office / desk job. I work remotely and just find it challenging to lose weight. And I do notice like the pounds creep up as the years continue on. And just kind of been trying to like lose weight with I think maybe I'm not eating enough calories, so I think that will make you keep the pounds on too. So yeah, and just kind of looking at the focus of like perimenopause and stuff like that, so and like what that does with your weight and everything. So
Oh,
yeah.
well, thank you. Thank you. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have Bianca. So you can unmute, Bianca. We're just discussing something about you and why
Hello.
you're inspired to come here today, what you want to learn more about.
Uh, well, just the subject piqued my interest. I'm struggling. I keep losing and gaining and losing and gaining. So I was hoping to get some help with that. I want to lose and keep it off.
Ah,
So
okay, awesome. Thank you for sharing. That's awesome. You came to a good place. All right, great. So I'll talk briefly about me. I'm the founder of Miracles in Wellness. I'm a retired nurse practitioner. On the last 10, 15 years, I've been studying healing and natural healing, and great friend of well, I wouldn't call him a friend, mentor, I guess, Joseph Mercola. And I was mentored by some other great chiropractors and naturopathic doctors as well, including, I'll talk about one called James Overman. So I've had weight issues too, mostly after the age of 50. Before this, I really had what I call minimal weight issues, but I know I did have some issues because I was usually hungry, like especially in the evening. And sometimes that comes back, but when I was younger, I would bake desserts every week and I ate sweets, mostly of my own baking every day. I like sweets still today, but I eat on a much more limited basis. So I'll get more into me, but health is wealth. Would anyone not agree with that? Your health is your wealth. When you're healthy, you have amazing energy, hopefully, and you won't be spending money that you don't want on things, that you don't understand why they're not going, how you would like them to go. So when I was young, like after my first baby, I was 31 and a half, almost 32. I was 105 pounds. And when I got married, I was like 95. We won't go there. But in my early 50s, I had gone up to 139, 140. So I just decided to be a little healthier. I went on a sort of not a diet, but I went and I eliminated most sweets. I eliminated bread, and a lot of desserts. Or if I did eat, it was limited. So I did release about 14 pounds. I was pretty happy. I was feeling better. But even though I did this and I strove to maintain it, I still had issues about maintaining that weight. And I didn't understand all the components to weight and health in general. I have a much better perspective that I'm going to share with you today. So for me, it was work stress, family stress. So I told you about not eating sweets or bread. I don't drink juice, fruit juice or anything. I would sometimes fast on a juice fast for 1 day a month or 3 days in a row. I don't recommend that type of fast, especially I wouldn't recommend 3 days in a row. I mean, if you're younger, your body might be able to handle it, but I don't think it's often the best. So I'm going to talk about metabolic flexibility. And that's one of the first things we need to understand about how we acquire weight and how the process works. So metabolic flexibility, I didn't coin the word. It's on the internet. It means putting your body in fat burning mode some of the time. And when you create metabolic flexibility, you lower inflammation, you normalize your insulin levels, you have healthy mitochondria That's your energy factories, and they're inside your cells. You maximize cellular regeneration and you keep aging to a minimum. So who wants this? Anyone? Great.
Yes.
Yes. So it means switching from burning fats to carbs easily. Our ancestors did this. Sometimes they did not get 3 meals a day when you're living in a cave or, hunting tigers or God knows what. You didn't get 3 meals a day, right? And they didn't have television or computers back then. So there was no late snacking or watching television. There was no even electric lights. So you went to bed probably when the sun went down, right? So metabolic flexibility is about eating to burn fat. And when your body does this, amazing things happen. And most of us burn carbs into sugar, which is then stored as fat, or you, like I said, burn it for energy. So I am suggesting, with a little tweaking or planning and small changes to your weekly eating schedule, you can literally teach your body to burn fat and feel optimally healthy. This means that low carbs only 1 or 2 days a week. It doesn't mean low carbs every single day. Low carb in the long run is not good for long periods. I know a lady who had a cancer diagnosis and she was absolutely obsessed, even not about eating too many blueberries or too many fresh fruits because it was too high in carbs. Well, I personally didn't agree with that, but we'll go on. So the best solution is to cycle between low carb and healthy carbs. So the first rule of metabolic flexibility, maybe you've heard of it, is to eat only those 3 meals, or if you want a snack, I don't recommend them usually, but eat in a 8 or 9 hour time frame. I mean, Mercola says 6 to 8. I think he's a little bit, I don't want anyone to be on the, hardship side of this forming new habits. So, and I want you to eat nutritiously. So probably most of you know about that to some degree. But I didn't know about it when I was younger, how to eat to sustain my energy for the whole day. So I really call this optimal health. You eat your meals within no more than 9 hours during the day. So mine is about 9 hours, and I don't get crazy or obsessed if it's 10 or 11, as long as it's only 1 or 2 days a month. Sometimes you have, like, I went to a banquet and they didn't serve dinner till 8 o'clock at night. Well, there's nothing you can do about that. I think I ate a little bit before I went, but not a lot. Anyhow, the second thing I want you to be aware of is to be able to switch between burning fats 1 or 2 days per week and then eating healthy carbs the rest of the time. So I have a process where I teach my clients how to eat healthy fats so that you burn those fats in a sustained energy boost. So the fat has to be eaten in the morning. I mean, you can eat more fat during the day, but you eat a healthy fat amount of fat in the morning. How many of you actually eat fat in the morning, like butter or coconut oil, sunflower seed butter or almond butter, something like that? Anyone?
Yogurt.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not low fat yogurt.
Right.
So that's what I call keto fasting, and there is an element of fasting. It really involves skipping 2 meals a week, and there's a special protocol for doing that. It's not just, and the one meal is eaten usually between, in the morning sometime before 12. And it includes eating healthy fat. Even when you're fasting or not fasting, you add fat to your breakfast. Because when you eat like, I love fresh fruit. I eat fresh fruit every day, even when I'm fasting. So it's about having, your body will burn the sugar in the fruit, but it's not fruit juice. It's fiber in it. And it gradually, that sugar does enter your bloodstream a little more gradually because it's not juice. And the fat keeps a sustained energy source because fats burn much slower. So I'm going to just talk to you about 10 ways, not 10, probably 6 or 7, in addition to what I call metabolic flexibility and keto fasting for more energy for your mitochondria. So everyone knows what mitochondria are. Does someone not know? Okay. They're the inside your cells. We'll talk about them in a little bit. So lack of quality sleep zaps your energy. And quality is more important than hours of sleep or quantity. And one of our issues today is spending too much of our day on the computer, especially, I would not recommend it in the evening, and staying up late at night. The computer zaps our energy and can cause sleeplessness. I mean, sometimes I have sleeplessness too. I mean, I'm not immune to everything. So yeah, sometimes my mind is racing. I have this little stone. It's called, I forgot the name of it. I put it on my computer. I have it on my cell phone, but I don't have it on my computer because it's a little bigger. I forgot what you call it. When I remember the name, I'll tell you, but it blocks some energy from the computer. But what I recommend is to stay minimally on the computer after dinner, and to get to bed between 10:30 and 11 at night when your melatonin is highest, which is in the early evening. And falling asleep is easier when our melatonin levels are highest. Some people with insomnia find relief with melatonin supplements. So, I mean, if you have a sleep issue, you might want to check that out. But there's other issues too. So I recommend limit computer time after 7 p.m. and get to bed between 10 and 11 p.m. I mean, I think that, even as a younger person, more or less, I had this habit. So it's a kind of habit that you can form. And if you have difficulty, then ask me for suggestions. So,
Can I ask a question?
yes,
So does this include cell phones?
yes, absolutely. I don't have 5G on my phone, but I still have 2 blockers on my cell phone. So yeah, I think the 5G is a little bit more stressful on the body.
Okay, thanks.
I'm trying to think of the name of this little stone. I'll remember it. I keep forgetting. So the next way, of course, we all know about exercise. It's a key to maintaining energy. So I'll share my age later. So I do yoga, I do walking, I do something called the nitric oxide dump. It takes me 6 minutes in the morning, 6 minutes a night. I do it every single day, twice a day. And it's on YouTube, nitric oxide, Nitric oxide dump, DUMP. So our body produces nitric oxide dump, and there's a special rule when you do this, and to promote nitric oxide in your body when you're exercising, you have to keep your mouth shut because you're going to breathe through your nose. And breathing through your nose is the key way to getting more nitric oxide inside your blood vessels. So I won't go through it too much, but I think it's really great. But I want you to know exercise is not a major way to release weight, and exercising too much can actually prevent weight loss. So I think that's good news. I mean, especially for me, I think that, you know, that you have to exercise a half hour every day. You can break it up. You can do things that are easy for you. I like yoga. I don't go 7 days a week. I go 2 days a week. But it's all, you know, exercise is good. Just don't overdo it. So number 3 or 4 for more energy is natural sunlight daily, and take a vitamin D supplement. And we also need vitamin K to properly absorb calcium. Most people don't know that. Some, my friend Candy, who was supposed to come, she sells like Shackley vitamins. I think they're awesome. Most good vitamins should have vitamin K, but I supplement with an additional vitamin K because I mean, I broke my shoulder, what, in 2013, how many years, about 9 years ago. And I decided to, you know, get healthier bones naturally. And one of the things I do is take vitamin D every day. And later on, I discovered more about vitamin K. Weston A. Price was a dentist. He was world renowned way back in the 1930s for studying people's teeth and why they had healthy teeth and healthy jaw formations. And what he found is that no matter where you lived and what your diet was, if it was a natural diet for your environment, so if you were an Eskimo and you ate walrus and sea lion or seal blubber, they had beautiful teeth because that vitamin D and K was stored right inside that blubber. Or people, you know, eating fruits and vegetables from the land, animals, all of that. They all had beautiful teeth. The minute they started putting sugar and flour, and way back in the 1930s, they didn't have as many processed foods as we have today. Just think of, you know, yeah. But he found dental decay in those people that had more access to sugar and white flour, etc. Not only dental decay, but malformations of the jaw and teeth. Most of us are designed to have 32 teeth. And I myself had my wisdom teeth pulled because my jaw wasn't big enough. And I think it happens quite frequently that our jaw bones aren't wide and big enough to have a full set of 32 teeth. So I'm going to talk about mitochondria inside every cell in your body. So this is step number 4 or 5. There are any energy factories, and each cell has about 100 of them. And mitochondrial dysfunction is a hallmark of many diseases, including cancer, and it's definitely a sign of aging. And mitochondria do not function well when you're overstressed. And actually, they found through research that as we age, they die off. But it has also only recently been found, I think in the last 10 or 20 years, that we can grow new ones or regenerate old ones. So isn't that awesome? So the process that we use to stimulate growth of new mitochondria or to regenerate them is called hormesis. It's HORMESIS. And what that means is to create a minor stress in your body to up-level your cellular energy. So there's various ways, and I recommend the first one I discussed, which is metabolic flexibility when you do keto fasting. So anyone heard of Wim Hof and taking cold showers or cold baths? Anyone know about that process? No? Well, I take a cold shower when I don't shower every day, but I take a cold shower even in the wintertime. After I take my hot shower, I switch to the cold. And if you read Wim Hof's story or anything, it's about stressing your cells to create more adaptability. And, you know, it is a stress to feel that cold water, but after a while, you know, your breathing is normal and your immune system just powers up. It's a minor stress. I don't do it for like more than 2 minutes, probably only a minute, minute and a half every time I do a shower. But I mean, if you live where it's cold, like in Chicago, you can even go outside in the winter for a cold walk. I would recommend putting a coat on, but you know, if you don't want to. I used to like preach to my kids to always wear, you know, their hats and gloves when it was cold, but you know, it's all a matter of, you know, kids are, you know, when their bodies are stressed, their immune system is strong, they can take that little stress of that cold. Is good for them actually. So it doesn't, going out in the cold doesn't cause you to catch a cold. That's an old wives' tale. But you can also use saunas or heat to release toxins from your body and power up your cellular mitochondria. So anyone have a hot sauna ever? Well, if you want to, that's fine. You know, I talked about exercising, fasting, and there is a supplement. I wouldn't recommend it, you know, unless you really had chronic low energy. And, you know, vitamin D and K I mentioned. There is one from Mercola, and there's a few others that I recommend when I teach my optimal health class. But I'll tell you one, it's berberine and micro PQQ. That's BERBERINE and micro MICRO PQQ. So I forget what it stands for. It stands for quinolone, some kind of quinolone. So I'll tell you what it does and why it can help. I actually energetically take it because I have a remedy maker that copies the energy of certain supplements, so I don't have to buy them all the time. But anyhow, as I said, as we age, the mitochondria undergo damage and mutations, and this affects their function. So these damaged mitochondria produce less energy, and you want them to regenerate or be healthier. So you can just have that awesome energy. So this supplement protects your mitochondria from oxidative damage It promotes the growth of new mitochondria. It supports neurological and cognitive function. It supports immune and cardiovascular health, encourages fat burning. It promotes insulin, leptin, and adiponectin function for a healthy metabolism. So insulin, I won't go into all of it, is what your body produces from the pancreas, and every cell has insulin receptors where they let that insulin in to allow your cells to burn sugar. And leptin resistance, leptin is something that your body produces naturally that helps burn carbs too. And a lot of us have insulin or leptin resistance. And I have special herbs that can take that away or lessen it at least. So this is step number 5 I'm going to share. It's about releasing limiting beliefs that cause your body to gain weight. So I never knew this until I started learning theta healing. So I am a theta healer. But your body shape reflects your subconscious feelings and emotions. And this is why theta healing can help change that for you. So I wanted to tell you a story about myself. And, in 2019, I went to a psychosomatic class with a teacher from Canada in Costa Rica. And the teacher took one look at me and my body shape, and she said, "You have the body of someone who bends over backward to help others." And I said, "Yes, that's me." That's me. And I really didn't know that, but yeah, I'll explain what it means. The body reflects your subconscious feelings and emotions. And when we understand this, we'll understand the different body shapes people have and how this is really an indication of what they believe and feel inside. So the bend over backwards is the 3rd chakra. So it's right below your lungs. It's the midsection there. So I have weight there. No matter how skinny I get, I do collect weight there. And my 3rd chakra is partially blocked, and that chakra controls your knees and ankles. So if you're like me, you might have a little arthritis in the knees. It could be in the hips, but the hips are the 1st chakra. So the knees are the 3rd chakra. And this chakra, 3rd chakra, controls the issues of confidence, expression of personal identity, and personal needs. There is more weight in the midsection, like I said, above the waist. And when these knees are held back or locked in, there is a fear of stepping out or a need to hold ground, rigidity and bending, and in the muscles around the knees may be present. So that's sort of a story about me. So I just want to share some other secrets that I learned from my teacher, because I've seen people like this. Maybe you'll be more observant. Have you ever seen someone with a large chest and maybe big upper arms and smaller hips?
Yes.
Yeah. So that means the chest and upper arms and back are the heart chakra. So this person with a large chest finds it hard to accept and receive love. The emotions can be assertive or even aggressive, and they find it hard to share their true feelings. And it could be a man too with fat, overdeveloped upper arms. They might find it difficult to initiate actions. But you ever seen a big bodybuilder man with big arm muscles? Has a high sense of personal power to compensate for a lack of emotional sensitivity and personal insecurity. There may be suppressed anger, tight shoulders, and back. But a person who is thin and twiggy, how many of you seen women that are really skinny? You don't know how they are so skinny. Well, I'll tell you, that's not good either. A thin, twiggy, contracted chest and weak upper arm shows a heart chakra that's blocked too, and it lacks depth. The person is low in energy. Emotions are withheld, especially from an early age. This person has a lack of feeling loved, inflexibility, and expression of the emotions. It could be a sense of collapse, insecurity, depression can be there. I'm not saying all of these are there, but at least some of them are. This person finds it hard to give love, energy, and holds a sense of emptiness. So in summary, what I'm saying is if you have extra weight tissue, it could be in the hips. Anyone seen a woman with huge hips? Yeah, that's more the first and second chakra. So wherever we put a lot of flesh on is where we have some kind of emotional, energetic blockage in our body. And theta healing, emotional healing is a way to release that. Anyone see a man with big throat, like a lot of flesh around the throat? Or maybe a woman. That means they're holding back their fifth chakra. That's your ability to speak your own truth. Even though they may talk a lot, that doesn't mean that they are really speaking about what they need or their own truth. So thyroid issues are related to throat chakra energy blockage. So if you have some issues with your tissues or organs, remember there are limiting beliefs about love, emotional expression, moving forward, bending over backward at your own expense. And until you resolve these beliefs, and I would recommend theta healing. Theta healing is awesome. I mean, hypnosis works well, but I think theta healing really goes into the reasons why these are blocked. And there's numerous things that we muscle test. And by the way, I'm an excellent muscle tester. I know exactly what you believe subconsciously, because that's the part that is running your body. It's not your conscious, necessarily your conscious beliefs, but yeah, you can program your conscious beliefs to be more in charge, but it's a process. It doesn't happen overnight. So a lot of times if you have difficulty releasing weight and it comes back, it's because of those emotional blockage in your tissues. So my teacher, Carol from Costa Rica, says your issues are always in your tissues. So step number 6 about why fat cells don't want to release fat. Anyone have an idea about this? Why our fat cells are resistant to releasing fat? Anyone have an idea? Nobody?
Stress,
Who?
maybe stress, like some kind of survival mode type thing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, stress is a universal thing, yes, but there is one specific physical reason, and that is even more common why we have fat people, more fat people in this country today. And it's because fat cells are meant to protect you from toxins. And the toxins are stored in our fat cells. I'll mention too, there are more. Someone here a little late. I'll have to send them a recording. So our fat cells store toxins. And two of the most common toxins are today glyphosate. Some people call it Roundup. And yeah, they spray it on our fields, corn, grapes, but they spray it on wheat and oatmeal after it's harvested. So the oatmeal might be grown naturally, maybe without glyphosate, but the minute it's harvested, they spray glyphosate on the wheat and the oatmeal because they need to dry it or desiccate it. Instead of doing that naturally, they want to hurry the process and they spray it with glyphosate. Now, glyphosate acts like an antibiotic in your body. It kills microbes. So guess what? Your microbes are part of your immune function. And if you're killing these off slowly by eating non-organic bread or non-organic oatmeal, you have glyphosate in your body. Now we can release some of this naturally. I also have means to release it with certain herbal formulas naturally. One is glycine, and I have some others also. And the second toxin I want to discuss with you is metal toxins. So heavy metals or just metals. And can anyone guess where a lot of our metal toxins come from? Anyone?
Water?
Sure, if you don't filter your water, you can get some, yes. Lead especially, but I think most of us are filtering our water these days, at least I hope so. I don't think drinking bottled water is the solution, but I won't go in there right now. So yeah, we have water, but there's two more things that I'm thinking of that are very common. One is extremely common. How many of you breathe air?
Last time I checked, yes.
So yeah, the air we breathe is a major source because I mean, there's buses and cars everywhere. And I mean, I guess they did take lead out of the gasoline to some extent, but we've all been exposed to metal. I mean, Dr. Overman says that, you know, beryllium is stored, and it comes from auto exhaust, stored in the brain of alcoholics. So just, you know, one of those aspects. I'm not saying it's the only cause, but it can be a cause. And I mean, how many of you had like silver fillings? They also are called mercury fillings in your teeth. I mean, I had them as a child.
I still do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't recommend you go and get them all replaced right away, but you might want to consider, you know, replacing some of them or on a gradual basis. I don't recommend anyone bankrupt themselves, just to be aware that if you go to Mercola.com, his website's been censored, so I subscribe to his Substack. But if you want me to send you an article, how the mercury is constantly outgassing inside your mouth and from fillings. I mean, it was kind of creepy. So anyhow, I want to keep going, and I'm going to go a little bit into parasites. That's one of my major expertises. I learned from Dr. James Oberman, who wrote a book, Overcoming Parasites Naturally. He was like the parasite expert of the world. And yeah. So we have more microorganisms in our body than we have cells. And they mostly constitute your immune system. They are beneficial, usually. And when they're beneficial, we feel energized and well. Certain parasites can cause fatigue and diseases like heart disease, depression, diabetes, and much more. So I was trained by Dr. Overman to eliminate parasites with his comprehensive protocol. And I know that some chiropractors, and there are parasite cleanses that you can do. A lot of times they don't eliminate them from, they might eliminate them from your digestive system, but they can be hiding in your brain. They can be hiding inside your joints. They can be hiding inside shells. They call it a dormant stage. Anyone hear of a spirochete? No. Well, Lyme's disease, maybe you've heard of Lyme's disease. It has a dormant phase called a spirochete, and most cleanses cannot get rid of that dormant phase. Even syphilis has a dormant phase. I forgot I'm not sure if it's a spirochete or what. I have to look that up, but it has a dormant phase, and antibiotics can help, but most of the time that dormant phase will reactivate it sometime. But Dr. Overman's protocol gets rid of these things easily, and even in the dormant phase. So why don't we know about parasites? Because traditional doctors have been trained to focus on drugs and surgery to alleviate our health challenges. And there have been many efforts. I don't know if anyone heard of Royal Rife or Hulda Clark, but they did pioneering work with parasites. And Dr. Overman is, or was, he's dead now, was like the latest to shed a lot of light on toxins and parasites in our body. And Dr. Overman says there are more cancers and other diseases today because toxins in our environment, which we didn't have before as much, at least, allow certain parasites to complete their life cycles in the human body without an outside host. So there's something called an intestinal fluke, there's liver flukes, all of that, but they can't exist in the body without some toxin there. So it could be isopropyl alcohol. So a certain fluke that has isopropyl alcohol that you rub on the skin. As a nurse, I rubbed it on everyone. It can cause, in the presence of these flukes, can cause cancer. And with methyl alcohol, you might get diabetes, methyl ethyl ketone or butyl ketone. You might get endometriosis. Benzene with flukes in the thymus gland can cause AIDS, etc. Even multiple sclerosis has certain toxin called toluene present in the body. But so like I said, most people don't know how to treat parasites. I do have a comprehensive protocol, and it's not expensive. It's, I don't claim that it will last forever, because our thoughts, our emotional states do affect our well-being and our diet as well. So one of my teachers, Joe Dispenza, says that all disease is a lowering of frequency. So toxins, negative emotions, negative energy, thoughts, all lower our frequency that allow certain parasites to live inside our body. I'll just mention some things that parasites are associated with, like depression, schizophrenia, blindness, certain blindness, asthma, arthritis, fibromyalgia, lupus, heart disease, diabetes, hypo and hyperthyroidism, and fertility issues. So I want to be respectful of your time. I have a few minutes left. I'm not going to go over each of these, but I will say that I have a zapper, but no, not everyone can be zapped. But the herbals work fine without the zapping. The zapping is a little bit quicker and more effective. And what a zapper is, it's just a small electronic box that's connected to two like metal handhelds. It sends a very low current or voltage into your body. And this voltage only kills the lower frequency parasites, because I said when you lower your frequency, you get bad parasites, bad microbes in your body. So it's all related to energy. So if you take antibiotics, on the other hand, they'll destroy beneficial as well as harmful microbes. And some of the microbes hide inside your cells, but Dr. Overman has a specific herbal that can get inside the cell so that they don't hide there and regenerate later. So you don't feel anything when you're being zapped. Most people feel absolutely nothing. Some might feel, you know, a little energy, but I just wanted to share about it because I think it's important to know. I've studied it as a nurse and all that. Not because I'm a nurse, because I'm interested in health. So I studied. That was my second, I think. No, it was the first thing I studied. I think I
need to go, Agnes. I just put a note in the chat, but I just wanted to let you know I need to hop off. But thanks a lot of great information.
I'll email you a link.
Perfect.
Connect with me later. So
Okay, thanks, Agnes. Have a good day.
So I just shared with you some key reasons why we are not full of energy and radiant as we would love to be. So there's other issues too, like eating healthier foods. Like I said, don't eat wheat or oatmeal unless they are organic. I think Mexico is banning glyphosate by 2023 or something like that. Maybe even Russia, I'm not sure. So Monsanto was the original producer of Roundup, and they sold it because of cancer lawsuits to a Bayer, a German corporation. So watch out, make sure that your bread, if you eat bread at all, that it is organic. Unfortunately, unless you know how to muscle test, and you can muscle test if there's glyphosate in there. But so what's next? I shared there are a number of layers to releasing weight, powering up your energy factories. That's your mitochondria. So I wanted to share an option to support you in whatever you're specifically interested in, whether releasing weight, health challenges, releasing limiting beliefs, because beliefs about loving and accepting your body and loving yourself are just as key as the food we eat. And I don't want anyone to feel that they need to bend over backwards to feel accepted or worthy. So I'm going to put in the chat right now a little link if you would like to have a consult with me. Let's see.
So Agnes, before we forget, you said you were going to share your age. I'm curious now.
Well, thank you for remembering. I'm trying to get this in the, oh. So I don't see why I can't put it in the, so let me put it now and then everyone, here it is. So I'm putting it in the chat. So if you click on that link or save the chat, you can just click on it and it'll go to another page if you would like to book a call with me. So yes, me, I've been married 54 and a half years. I'm 76 years old. So most people, you know, are a little surprised to hear about my age, but I'm not, you know, I'm proud of the fact that I'm healthy. I'm proud of the fact that I have lots of energy and, you know, I'm probably not as energetic as when I was 20, but I think that I am, you know, compared to other people, maybe, and I shouldn't compare myself. I'm always focusing on becoming a better version of myself. So that's what I would love for you. So any other questions?
You look great. Thanks for sharing that.
Sure, thank you. So it's exactly 1 o'clock. I'm going to stop.